How's it going? I'm going to record this video from my car because I was just driving home from work and I saw this video on Jubilee where it's called One Democrat versus 25 Republicans. And basically the idea is you got this professional debater. His name is Destiny, or he goes by Destiny. I'm not sure what his name is. And he's like some professional debater on the left, and he's debating 25 Republican Trump supporters, basically. And his first claim is, I think that Donald Trump is unqualified for office. And I'm going to play a couple of the clips right now, and then I want to respond because I think that the conservatives who are right on the issue get destroyed by Destiny, who's a very skilled debater. And I want to kind of explain why they got destroyed and give a better argument so that people don't make this mistake in the future.
That Donald Trump is unfit to be the U.S. president. Yeah, pleasure to meet you.
All right, so you say that President Trump is unfit to take the presidency. Why is that?
I think that Donald Trump was unwilling to accept the results of the elections. I think that he fabricated slates of electors in order to have his vice president pick him to be the winner in the Capitol building on January 6th, even though he didn't have the votes or the evidence to support it. I think that is a wholly undemocratic thing. I think that it is destructive and undermines our democratic process of governance.
Do you attribute the violence on January 6th to Trump?
Largely, yes.
So what if I told you at 2:38 p.m. President Trump tweeted, "Stay peaceful"?
They weren't being peaceful. Why are we saying stay peaceful?
How many
At this point,
protesters
Pence
were
had
there?
already been...
How many
Doesn't
protesters
matter.
were there
This is a
on
red
January 6th?
herring.
How many?
Hold on. Do you acknowledge that people broke into the Capitol?
What do you mean by break into the Capitol?
As in smashed... They entered it illegally. They broke down
100,000
barricades.
people
What?
were there that day. How many were charged with crimes? 100,000 people there. How many charged with crimes?
The
One
vote.
issue for
They
voters.
delayed the certification of the
number
vote.
one
Did they
issue?
not?
They walked into the Capitol.
No, they broke in with a riot shield that he's stolen from an officer.
Okay, and that makes President Trump unfit for office.
Do you acknowledge that that happened? Are we living in the same reality right now? Yeah.
So, you don't think Donald Trump is fit for office based on January 6th.
Among other things, yeah.
However, we have to admit that January 6th was compromised. There were patriots and there was Antifa. There were people
No.
who were, yes, there were
No, there
actually.
were not.
I have video of it. Don't argue it. Don't argue me because I actually have video of people who were on the ground. I have video of people in Black Bloc getting dressed up in MAGA gear.
Okay.
When there's a broken window, they don't see anything wrong with walking into a building if the window's already broken.
I thought conservatives were the party of law and order. If you were outside somebody's house and you saw somebody break in, you think you could walk in afterwards?
This example is even continued through BLM and the riots
We're not
of
talking about
2020.
BLM
But
right now,
the
although I'm glad it
pattern
took
is
us
the same.
40 seconds. It's
The
not the same pattern.
Insurrection is going to have people like commanders, generals, captains, people.
No, it doesn't
yes,
need
it
to
does.
at all. But the Proud
Absolutely
Boys
it
had a
does.
leadership
Yes, it
structure.
does.
Okay, so you see those clips, and one thing you'll notice about all of them, and this is the most important issue. Destiny is like I said, he's a very smart guy, and he's a very skilled debater. He's the best at what he does. His only flaw is he's wrong about everything. So, when you're debating him, you have to understand he's manipulating the conversation to direct you in an area. He wants you to argue on his terms. He wants to direct the conversation and make you talk about something on his terms, right? So, for example, they're talking about January 6th, and he's saying, Donald Trump is unfit for office because of January 6th. And then every single person that comes up sits there and starts defending January 6th. Well, it wasn't that bad because technically it's not an insurrection because there was a lot of peaceful people. There was 100,000 peaceful people and a few of them committed a riot. It really wasn't that bad. So anyway, he gets them defending January 6th, right? And so he'll say something like, January 6th was terrible. January 6th was awful. They broke into the Capitol. They broke a window. They used a cop's riot shield to break in there, and they were assaulting police officers, and Ashley Babbitt got shot, and Donald Trump waited 3 hours. Can you believe? Oh my gosh. And it makes it sound all crazy. And then you have these conservative kids who are saying, well, it really wasn't that bad because if you think about it, there was a bunch of people outside who didn't even go into the Capitol, and there was only a few bad actors, and it wasn't that bad. And Tucker Carlson, he released a video where a lot of them were just getting shown around. And he'll be like, really? You're going to justify January 6th? January 6th was crazy. Can you even imagine? And it's like, oh my, I can't listen to this. It makes me so mad because the argument is simple. The claim was, and this is the most important part, the claim that Destiny made is Donald Trump is not qualified for the presidency. Okay. And his argument is January 6th. So the only question we have to ask is, what was the cause of this riot? Do those people have agency or do they not? Did they go there of their own accord? or were they incited to violence by Donald Trump? Is Donald Trump guilty of inciting an insurrection? And the answer to that is no, he is not. So the legal standard for incitement to violence is telling somebody, if I tell you, Jim, you should go punch Bob in the face. Now, and then Bob or Jim goes and punch Bob in the face, okay, that's incitement to violence. I've just told him to do something and then he did it, and so I'm the cause of that. Or if my rhetoric, I'm getting tongue-tied. If my rhetoric is said in such a way that it is likely to elicit that result, then I'm guilty of inciting to violence. Now, you might say, Donald Trump did that. Oh my gosh. And a lot of people have said that. He didn't. So if you go back and listen to his speech, and some of the conservatives brought this up, Donald Trump said, go to the Capitol peacefully and patriotically, all of that. The fact of the matter is, you don't even have to go into all of those weeds. Donald Trump has been indicted for overpaying on his taxes. He got charged with check fraud for writing legal expenses on a check that he gave to his lawyer. And they're like, oh my gosh, they're indicting this guy on every fake made up charge imaginable. So if he actually committed a serious crime that could get him banned by I think it's the 14th Amendment of the Constitution, that if you get found guilty, if you incite to violence, if you incite an insurrection against the government, you actually can't run for office. So you don't think if they could have got him on that, they would have got him on that? They didn't. Not only did none of the protesters get charged with insurrection, Donald Trump didn't get charged with insurrection. So is Donald Trump guilty of insurrection? No, he was not found guilty of insurrection. Are those people guilty of insurrection? Actually, no. If you really thought January 6th was this terrible thing, and they were going in and they were going to take over the government by force, and it was the end of democracy, it was the threat to our democracy, the greatest. Okay, then why not charge these guys with treason or insurrection? But they're not doing that. They don't charge them with insurrection. What are they charging them with? They're charging them with trespassing, breaking and entering, which is kind of what happened. That's what they did. I would say January 6th was a terrible, awful thing. I don't support the actions. I believe that a lot of people committed crimes on that day, and if you commit a crime, you should be held accountable and you should go to jail for that crime. What crimes did they commit? They broke a window? Yes. They trespassed? Yes. And they got charged with trespassing and breaking and entering. Now, you could also bring up the fact that other people commit those exact crimes, right? The people on January 6th should probably not be sent to jail, and the reason for that is not that they didn't commit the crimes. The fact that you have somebody who breaks a window on January 6th, and that's 4 years in solitary confinement, whereas you have somebody who breaks into a federal building or burns down a police station in Minneapolis, and it's slap on the wrist, Kamala Harris raises some money to bail you out of jail, and it's no, people are going to jail for 10 minutes, 2 months, getting a little fine. Meanwhile, somebody strolls into the Capitol on January 6th and gets 4 years in solitary confinement. So if you don't have justice equally applied, you no longer have justice. That would be the argument for not sending them to jail. But I'm not going to sit there and make the case that nobody committed a crime, because of course they did commit a crime. So I'm not going to argue on a position where I am incorrect. So I'm not going to say, oh, January 6th wasn't that bad. January 6th was that bad. Crimes were committed. Was it an insurrection? No. And the proof of that is they charged these people. They did arrest them, and they did charge them with crimes. They did not charge them with insurrection. They charged them with trespassing, and they charged them with destruction of property. Also, states in this very election have tried to remove Donald Trump from the ballot. I think it was Colorado that said, we're taking him off the ballot. And they took him off the ballot in this presidential election, saying, well, the 14th Amendment says you can't run for president if you were found, or if you committed an insurrection against the United States government. We believe Trump did that, so we're taking him off the ballot. They take him off the ballot, immediately gets challenged in court, and he's back on the ballot in Colorado. Why? Because it was investigated, and obviously, it's every legal scholar, every legal analyst, every lawyer, anybody who takes a look at this seriously knows, okay, technically he didn't commit an insurrection. We just want to say this because we're wrong on all the issues, and we have no other reason, because we can't really argue with the economy, we can't argue with the foreign policy, we can't argue about anything. So we're going to talk about January 6th, which really isn't that difficult of an issue for you to debate, for conservatives to debate. But you can't sit there and defend the actions of the people who caused all the chaos, because then they're going to be like, look, all of these crimes were committed. And I think Destiny even said that. I thought conservatives were supposed to be the party of law and order, and here you are sitting here defending all these criminals. And then he just exaggerates and goes into all of the terrible things that happen. Okay, anyway, to wrap it up, this video is getting a little longer than I expected. The claim was Donald Trump is not qualified for the presidency, and he's using January 6th as the caveat for that. So, listen, I don't agree with Trump's rhetoric on January 6th, and it's fine to say that. Maybe you do agree with it. Maybe you think, oh, Donald Trump is amazing, and I'm not a Donald Trump apologist. I believe we need him to win. That's the thing. And the way to help him win is not to sit there and defend people who actually did commit crimes. It's just to say, maybe they committed crimes, maybe they didn't commit crimes. Listen, I don't agree with January 6th. Totally don't support it. But even, let's just pretend it was the worst thing ever. Let's just pretend it was worse than it actually was. I'll give you that. The fact of the matter is, Donald Trump did not incite them to violence. And it was proven in the courts when they tried to take him off the ballot. So if you make that argument, now you're flipping it on somebody like Destiny. Which, Destiny, I would love to debate you. But the thing is, you're flipping it on him because now he has to say, well, yes, but technically the courts had to have gotten it wrong, because if you look at him, and then then he has to go in and dissect Trump's rhetoric. And the thing is, you can't actually do that, because the fact is, Donald Trump did say peacefully and patriotically. And all he's going to say is, oh, well, he had the slates of electors, and he challenged the slates of electors, and he was trying to make all these false accusations, and he had the phone call in Georgia, and we've all heard all of this. And you can just say, yeah, he had the legal right to challenge. He had the legal right to challenge anything he wants to. He can challenge anything he wants to in the courts. He can challenge the slates of electors. The phone call in Georgia. Let's just say hypothetically that Trump saw a TikTok that was totally fake, wasn't even real, of security footage of people in Georgia stuffing ballot boxes and throwing out Trump votes and putting in Biden votes and doing all of these shenanigans. Maybe it's totally fake. I'm not saying it happened. Let's just say that Trump believed it, and they're like, and he's sitting there thinking, dude, they cheated by 50,000 votes. They cheated by 50,000 votes. Dude, all I need you to do is find me 14,000. I don't even care if you find all 50,000. I just need you to find me 14,000, and that'll fix my problem. If that was in his mind, it's totally fine. There's no problem with that. That's not illegal. The fact of the matter is, Donald Trump did not commit any crimes on January 6th. He did not commit any crimes when he challenged the slates of electors. Now, do I personally disagree with Trump's claims? Yes, I don't think that election fraud is proven on January 6th. I think that Trump lost the election. I think that there was, shenanigans in the media. I think that the laptop story and a lot of things that happened in the media were the reason why a lot of people voted for Biden. But the fact is, a lot of people voted for Biden and Trump lost the election. So let's just move on and help Trump win. Well, hopefully I'll be able to post this video today. The election's in like 3 days. Wait, what's today? Saturday? Yeah, the election's on Tuesday. So go vote. Thank you for listening to my rant. This is like the first video I'm actually putting on my YouTube channel. But anyway, thank you for watching this video. This is gonna be like the first video I ever upload on my YouTube channel. I'm trying to start like this channel where we have conversations. Maybe I'll react to stuff like this, who knows. Just do more videos from my car. I'm just driving home from work and I was like, I have to do this. We're trying to figure out what to do with the channel. I want to talk to people, maybe go to college campuses, but send this to a liberal friend, or maybe not send this. Send this to a liberal friend who thinks that Donald Trump is unqualified, and tell them that I want to have a conversation with them. I'm just looking for people to have conversations, people that agree with me, that disagree with me. I think it'd be fun to start some kind of podcast where we'd have actual conversations and talk to people in a way that respects their intelligence, because Destiny is a sniveling little weasel. I mean, this guy has tweets on Twitter where he literally says Capitore, the guy who got shot at the Trump rally, and he literally said you go to a Trump rally, so kind of had it coming. This guy is a sniveling little weasel. He is a bad person. But he did win these debates, and he killed these kids on January 6th because he's smarter than them and he's just a better debater. Maybe he's not smarter than them because they're conservatives, obviously they're right, but he just won because he's a better debater, and he doesn't have to win because he's wrong about the issue, but he was just better at manipulating the conversation. And I think that conversation's not that hard to have. You just have to swivel it away from what he's trying to get you to talk about and talk about the actual thing that is at the core of the issue. If Donald Trump was disqualified, he would have to be disqualified. That would be a legal standard that he would have to meet. That legal standard would have to be insurrection, and he didn't meet that legal standard. Therefore, he's not disqualified. It's as simple as that. It's a really simple argument. Destiny was completely wrong about the issue, but he did win the debate, and that's unfortunate. I can't stand it when that kind of thing happens. Anyway, thank you for watching. Have a good day.